Welcome back. Now, at around 2 o'clock this afternoon, the Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana, will deliver his 2023 budget speech to the National Assembly in Cape Town. But what are the expectations of the property market? Can we expect any further transfer duty relief? Well, Herschel Jawitz, he's the CEO of Jawitz Properties. He joins us now virtually to tell us what the property industry can expect. Thank you very much for your time here, Herschel, on eNCA. I'm just wondering, as a person who owns a property, what will you be hoping to hear from the minister this afternoon?
Thanks, Maseko. So I think that what we would like to hear is that there is going to be additional transfer duty relief, either in terms of the transfer duty percentages that buyers pay when they purchase a home, or more importantly, I think the threshold below which transfer duty isn't payable. At the moment, that sits at R1 million. So if you purchase a home up to R1 million, you don't pay transfer duty, and then the percentages increase as you move further up the price ladder. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get any relief from the minister today. I think in a situation with Eskom, with budgetary challenges, I think that the fiscus needs every cent that they can get.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you, is that are you saying you're not expecting anything in terms of properties and particular transfer duties because we have bigger fish to fry at the moment?
I think so. So if you look at the transfer duty figures, which is what purchasers pay, that's the government tax. That's different to the legal fees that you pay to an attorney. Transfer duty, I think, accounts for roughly 10 billion of the over 1.5 trillion. It's about 0.6% of government revenue. It sounds like a small amount, but we know that the government is starved for funding, and we've got this huge Eskom-related issue and social grants. So I don't think we're going to see any relief. That the last time these transfer duty thresholds or percentages were changed were about 3 years ago. But I think that it would be possible for the government to give first-time buyers at that R1 million mark some additional relief. First-time buyers are a critical part of the growth and the sustainability of the residential property market. It's good for the economy, it's good for councils and community. And so I think there is an opportunity, for example, to increase those thresholds from 1 to 1.1 or 1.2 million, below which transfer duties aren't payable. But as I said, I think that, as you said, the government has got bigger fish to fry, and I don't think there's going to be any relief.
3 years since the last time we got some reprieve when it comes to transfer duties. Just remind us again, Herschel, for those of us who probably just are not really fully understanding, there's conveyances as well when you buy property, and that's the money that you pay as a home buyer to the bank, right, for them to be able to put the property in your name from the person that you're buying from. So the transfer duties that you're talking about in terms of this tax to government that you're talking about, how much of this goes to government? So if, for instance, my total is 75,000 Rand, maybe I'm buying a house for 1.2 million, how much of that 75,000 Rand would go to government?
So if you're buying a house for 1.2 million, the first R1 million would be exempt from transfer duty, and then you'd probably end up paying actual transfer duty of about 35,000 Rand, so approximately 3%. And the balance of the 75,000 that you would have paid will either go to legal fees, so attorneys for handling the transfer. If you took out a mortgage bond on your property, it would be to register the bond with the bank and to pay the bond attorney. So there are generally two sets of attorneys, one that handle the transfer of the property from the seller into your name. Then there's the attorneys that handle the registration of the bond into your name on behalf of the bank. So you probably find that at that level, half the costs are in terms of the government tax, and the other half of the fees that you've paid either go to attorneys for legal fees or would go to the bank, a small portion for bond registration fees.
So, how has this affected the property industry as a whole to have only gotten reprieve about 3 years ago? Of course, at some point there was COVID-19 and the banks then started to expect less towards bond from homeowners, etc. But right now, how has it affected it? Is it better to just rent at the moment instead of buy?
Listen, it depends on your personal circumstances. It depends on your finances. The property market in most parts of the country hasn't performed particularly well over the last couple of years, and especially with inflation being as high as it is. But I think partly that's also, and it's going to be, I think what consumers are waiting to see is around the pressures on disposable income. So it's not just the increase in interest rates, the increase in food prices, in fuel prices, which have been crippling, electricity prices. So I think that what consumers are looking for, or what we're looking to see, is what's going to happen in terms of tax breaks for consumers, personal income tax brackets, what's going to happen to those brackets to try and put some additional disposable income back in consumers' pockets, and that's going to be good for the economy and good for the residential market.
Absolutely, because a lot of us, Herschel, I don't know about you, when we see the announcement from the Reserve Bank to say the Reserve Bank Governor Lesetja Kganyago is going to address people that afternoon, we literally bite our tongues. Thank you very much for speaking to us, Herschel Jawitz. He's the CEO of Jawitz Properties.